This has been great. It brings back a lot of memories.
You're one of Flemke's boys. You can't say enough about Eddie Flemke.
That's a true statement. Almost every bit of my success I can relate to him being responsible for it.
How did it start? How did you and Denny get together?
Well, it was actually an accident at Riverside Park. It was I'm not sure if it was my first or second year, but Eddie came charging out through the infield and put a wheel under me and put me in a hospital that night, which was actually a very fortunate thing because I think it was an accident on his part. It was really a racing accident, but I think he felt bad. And because of that, he started helping me. And that was the beginning of the long-term relationship.
One of the great parts of New England history is the Eastern Bandits. Guys going south in the early 60s. Got any Eastern Bandit stories?
It was easy pickings when we first went down there. And of course, Eddie, the way he is, he enjoyed the competition and he enjoyed helping people like he helped me. And he helped all those other guys set up their cars. And all of a sudden, it wasn't such easy pickings, but it was still great fun. We had some great times between Eddie and Rainey, and Redfoot and myself.
That was 5-6 nights a week of racing?
At least 4 nights, sometimes 5 nights a week. Sometimes 2 in the same day.
How far south did you go?
I think Moyock, North Carolina, but that was not a regular occasion. And Langley Field, but I'm thinking South Boston was about as far south as we normally went.
You told me one great story about the time you were following Eddie, and Eddie kept pointing to his head.
Yeah. We were running away from the field at Manassas. I don't remember, maybe a 50 or 100 lapper. Running away from the field, and Eddie was being conservative and staying just far enough in front of everybody, and I was running all over the back of him. And I was sure that I was going to pass him, and I could win the race. And he kept pointing to his helmet. What he was trying to tell me was to use my head. Well, there was coming off the second turn, just entering the backstretch, there was a big hump there. Put a big load on the gear train. And sure enough, about 10 laps from the end of the race, I lost the rear end. And he told me afterwards, he said, if you would have taken it easy, you would have finished second. I said, but I could beat you. He said, no, you couldn't.
Did he do that a lot? Did he have that?
Yes, yeah. He ran hard enough to win the race, but he took care of the car too. He was, as well as a talented driver, he was a smart driver. But another one of his big credits is that he was always interested in helping people like me. He just enjoyed racing and helping people.
You stayed down south for 1 year, right? The Eastern Bandits were over and you stayed in the south for 1 year.
Yeah. I took a liking to Southside Speedway in Richmond, and they ran every Friday night, and that interfered with some of the tour that the Eastern Bandits were doing. So I stayed there, and I ran Southside Speedway and South Boston, and I won a championship that year in Southside Speedway. I think I won the Virginia State Championship that year in the Marlboro, the Maryland State Championship.
Soon after that, you went to the sprint cars. You went to the open cockpit cars.
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
Well, I had always had my sights set on Indy, and nobody would hire me to drive an open wheel car until I had a little experience in it, so I bought a sprint car. And I ran the first year in URC with my own sprint car. Am I going to get run over?
And you won that race that got us all excited at Thompson, the Chicky Memorial.
Oh, at Stafford. That was at Stafford.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but before that, I won the year before that in my own car. I won at Wall Stadium. URC had one sprint car race per year on asphalt. I won both of them.
and then Going to Indy was a tough haul. That was a tough nut to crack back then.
Yeah, it was, and I had a lot of good times there, and I was very fortunate in '71 to be Rookie of the Year. But I passed my driver's test 2 times before, in '69 and '70, passed my driver's test, but I didn't have a car that would go fast enough. In '71, we got fortunate.
We were really excited back home when you did that, when you qualified.
Probably just as excited as I was.
But you told me the story about getting a telegram from Redfoot when you qualified, or when you won Rookie of the Year, or something.
Yeah.
Redfoot had.
Redfoot sent me a telegram, and also, of course, they had a banquet for me, and everything. Eddie and Pete Hamilton all showed up for that. That was a big occasion in my life.
Was there any overlapping of you? You know, you were probably the first of Eddie's boys, and then Peter came along. Was there any overlapping of you and Hamilton with Eddie?
Well, when we were running Norwood and Thompson, which was right around the time the Eastern Bandits started, Eddie was helping Pete too. Pete actually won Daytona before I was Rookie of the Year at Indy, though. It was '71, right?
He won 70.
Oh, he won in '70. Okay. Well, then he won. That was a year before I went to Indy. Before I was Rookie of the Year in Indy.
And then you went back and run again.
'72, I qualified, and we were running well. I was in a turbocharged Ford, a McLaren, and we were running as well as 10th at the time, and the car quit. The engine blew.
Yeah, I still have the pin. Win with Zim.
Yeah. My wife just found a bunch of those in the cellar the other day.
And then left racing.
For flying.
With the airplane.
Yeah. I lost my sponsor. I lost the people that were kind of helping me get rides, and I was at a turning point in my life where I had learned to fly, and I figured I could fly airplanes for a lot longer than I could continue to drive race cars. So I went with flying. I miss racing, but I don't have any real regrets.
Tell me about being a member of the Hall of Fame.
That was also a very big occasion in my life. I was tickled to be put in a Hall of Fame, and it's a very big thing in my life.
Does it mean, being there with Eddie and being there with Peter?
With Eddie and Pete and all the other, Rainey, all the other people that are here today.
A great deal. The whole Eastern Bandit operation is.
Oh yeah, camaraderie. Those were good times.
Are you concerned with racing at all? Do you watch?
I follow it on television when I can and in the newspapers, but that's about it.
You don't go to much.
No.
When was the last raid? When was the last time you raced?
The last race, I just told Eddie, little Eddie, last time I drove a race car was at Islip in his car. It was 1974. I think I ran 2 or 3 laps in the heat race and spun out.
Well, listen, my friend, I thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
This is great seeing all the old guys.